we go. Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone on this fine Saturday? So good, I hope. I am very good. I have a new artist to share with you and some other exciting things going on. So directly after this class, head on over to the Facebook page Pineapple Triangle. It's exactly how it sounds. Pineapple Triangle. And I am one of the featured artists who is going to be, they celebrate all manner of handmade, local artisans. And so today is a virtual event. Usually, during normal times, they would be held in the town square of Peoria, but during these crazy COVID times, they are doing it all virtually. And I was lucky enough to be invited to take part in that. So at 1 o'clock Arizona time, head on over to the Pineapple Triangle Facebook page and they will have a whole program. So I'm super excited to be part of that. That's for sure. Let's see. Gosh, lots of people are here. Yay! I see Lynn, Carmen, Nancy, Keels, Lisa, Stephanie. Yay, yay, yay. I'm so excited to see everybody here. I hope that you got my message today to bring a apple to class. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. See if you, I'm going to test your artist knowledge to see if you know who we're going to cover today who celebrated apples. Let's see. I want to make sure that everybody here follows me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and is part of our Let's Get Artsy with Corbiere-Scott Facebook group. Let's see. What else do I have to share? Oh, next Saturday is my next Bible journaling class, and that will be the 19th, and our theme is Mary, Did You Know? And so here is the artwork that we're going to create together. We have a private Facebook group and artwork that I will be putting out early this coming week so everybody has time to fiddle with it in their Bibles, and then we will paint together next Saturday from 9 to 11. And then we'll have our regular Let's Get Artsy Together Apart class, and I believe that might be the last one of the year. Because as I was looking at the calendar, the next Saturday is the day after Christmas. So, and we might be having some people here. We'll see. We're all working toward that goal, but COVID. So I'm thinking I'm going to take that week and the week up to New Year's off. So like from the, so the 20th through the 1st. I think I'm going to take those days off because we might have people here. It will be really hard for me to, concentrate. So, and then in the new year, I have some other fun things planned for us. I'm thinking that we will start to do Let's Get Artsy with our Let's Get Artsy Together Apart once a month instead of every Saturday. I have some other things in the works, lots of fun stuff. We'll continue with our Tuesday and Thursday pop-in paint parties, but the time will change. I'm thinking I'm going to do it earlier in the day. And like I said, Let's Get Artsy Together Apart will be Saturdays, but it will be one Saturday a month. And then I have some other cool things planned for us. You know, art is not going away in the world of Anne Corbiere-Scott Designs. That's for sure. We are going to continue to make art and make art together, which I think is like the best thing. My licensed stuff is, I'm still working on the website page with all of my licensed products. Can I tell you, technology is not, it's just, it is not second nature to me. And so it takes me a whole morning to figure something out. And then I think I've figured it out. Like yesterday I sent out a email with the Bible journaling thing with a, with a button to go to my website, and it went to nowhere. I had worked on that all morning. Seriously, so frustrating. Anyway, be that as it may. Let's start talking about today's artist. I'm so excited to share today's artist. Does anybody have a guess who is famous for painting apples? That's a big, big hint. Anybody? Anybody? Nothing? Nothing. Well, I will tell you. Today's artist is Paul Cezanne. Paul Cezanne was a, let's see, can you see that? Is that too dark? I'll leave this here. Here we go. Paul Cezanne was a, he was considered a modern artist. He was one of the founders of that movement. So after the Impressionist period, there was this movement to change things up a little bit, and Cezanne was one of the post-impressionist / modern artists who headed that up. And so he, let's see if I can find something else for you to look at. Something else. Apples. Look at, he did so many paintings of apples. They're so beautiful. Ooh, there's a good one. Can you see, can you guys see that? I can't tell if it's, so Paul Cezanne, Cezanne. Born in 1839, died in 1906. Like I said, he was a French post-impressionist / modern artist. He was, where he differed from the Impressionists, he certainly, like, he adopted some of their traits. Like, he liked painting outside, and he liked painting landscapes, but he had his own style. He did not embrace the power of light in the way that the Impressionists did. He embraced the how to use light with color. So he embraced the entire value spectrum of a color, right? From the darkest to the lightest. So remember we talked about if you have a red and you continue adding water to it, you get lighter, 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 lighter. If you want it to get darker, you're going to add just a speck of black, and then then 2 specks of black, then 3 specks. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can get darker, darker, darker. Or remember, you can add the opposite on the color wheel, color, to that base color. He was an expert in using gradations of color. Like that was his, that's kind of his claim to fame. Oh, I need a drink. Goodness sakes. I need to drink more water. And slow my roll. So he was considered the father of modern art. He was considered Picasso called him his only master. Picasso, Degas, Renoir, and Matisse all acknowledged him as a genius. But here's the thing. Cezanne's art was greatly misunderstood during most of his life, but was later recognized as one of the great post-impressionists, known for his emotional involvement in his paintings. It's just crazy. Like his art wasn't really celebrated until, oops, sorry about that, you guys, until he was gone. Like at the very end of his life, and at the very after he was gone, that's when his art was really celebrated and acknowledged. He was an he liked to use layers of color, so that works right into how we paint together. He was best known for his still lifes, and remember that still lifes are things, portraits are people, and landscapes are places. So, I can't wait to share this with you. So, in the beginning of his career, he was absolutely never, like he was not accepted into the Salon of Paris when he tried so many times. But he did, it was discouraging, but he was never discouraged. Do you know what I'm saying? He just kept trying. And so, when he was, during this whole period of all of these apples, he had a quote that said, "With an apple, I will astonish Paris." And so he did, but it was way after the fact. Let's see, what else do I have to say? Within his lifetime, he's painted over 900 oil paintings and over 400 watercolors. Is that amazing? Let's see. He was very into composition. Hi, Trisha. He was very into oops, sorry about that, you guys. I didn't realize that the screen went black. He was very into composition, more than, like I said, more than realism. His paint strokes were often seen as almost like violent. They were so, he had very short, flat brush strokes that you could see. So remember that when we're painting later. And he had rough shapes that kind of overlapped each other, and then a variety of colors that make up each image that's in his painting. His trick for creating a realistic vibe was highlight shadows and cast shadows. So remember that is more use of the values of a color, right? The lightest shade to the darkest shade. So I'm going to show you my beginnings, and then we'll just keep talking about him as we go along. So I am just going to do one apple. You can choose to do whatever you wish, but I'm feeling like one apple, this one apple, is enough for me. So let me find my pencil. Honest to Pete. I tried to consolidate and then I lose stuff. I should never try and clean up. That's for sure. So he drew a pretty basic shape, right? So he, there's not a pencil in that one. Let's see if there's a pencil in this one. So like I said, so his process was pretty loose, right? So he just kind of drew this loose interpretation of a shape of the apple, right? So when I look at the apple, I see that one side is high. Can you see that? I hope that you get that's apparent. When I took a picture of it today that I put on social media, I tried to take it from many different directions, but I took it the way that I took it, I wanted a little bit of the stem to show, and then just the beauty of the shape of an apple, the beauty of the skin of the apple, because hi Carol, when you start to think about Cezanne, you will notice that his, when you look at his paintings, he has, he comes at things from many different, from many different sides. So his, sometimes they look like the light source is coming from, that you're looking at it from the top. Sometimes it looks like you're looking at it from the sides. And sometimes he melds all of those things together. I don't feel like I'm that well versed in it. So I am just drawing it kind of from my viewpoint this morning when I took a picture. So I feel like I want to kind of just draw my basic shape, right? And then, but remember, this is your drawing. You can do it however you want. I just thought it would be, so he really liked to have his subject matter right in front of him. And I mean, I look at this apple skin and look at the beauty of all of those dots. I just love it. And the shades of color. So, but what we're going to really work on today is kind of a crazy thing. We're going to work on value and range of colors, right? Range of light, from light to dark. So if you look at an apple, so this is, I know it's a circle, but whatever, you'll get my drift. So there's one spot that'll be the highlight, right? So our light source is from over here in this example. Your light source can be wherever you want it to be. But remember, there's going to be a highlight, and then a light, and then midtones, and then a shadow, and then reflected light, and then a cast shadow. So, is that too confusing to everybody? Does everybody kind of get it? So I'm going to lightly draw it on my apple so you can kind of see where I'm going. So I have a highlight, and then I have light, right? And then I have midtones, and then I have shadow, and then I have, here is my reflected light, and then here is my cast shadow, right? So just think that your cast shadow is the shadow that your object casts, right? Hi, Rennie. How are you? So we are studying Paul Cezanne today. So does that help everybody understand, or have I made it too confusing? Right? So you have your highlight, your light, your midtones, your shadow, your reflected light. Because remember, when you look at things in real life, it's not flat color. Although in Cezanne's case, a lot of his stuff looks really flat. And then you cast shadow. So then when we start to paint, we're going to incorporate all of this, right? This is going to be the values of the color, right? But then remember, we can add other colors to this to create the dimension of an apple, right? So you can add some blacks, you can add some greens, you can add some yellows, whatever, because look at the apple. It has many colors, right? So I'm going to get my paints out. Does that help anybody? Does that hurt anyone? Do they like it? Do they hate it? Just let me know what your thoughts are. Nobody's talking. All right, so I'm gonna get my regular old classic colors from Prima, and some paintbrushes and some water. So he played a lot with colors and used colors to create the form. So I'm feeling like let's use some yellow maybe, and orange, like a kind of a yellowy orange mix with a little bit of green maybe. Whatever's here on my palette. But remember, I'm painting on paper that has no forgiveness, right? So I'm gonna just start here, and then I'm gonna get some red. A kind of watery red. Is this helping anybody? I hope. Are you getting ready to paint your apple? Have you drawn your apple? Okay, right? So now I have my light, my highlight, and then my light, and then my midtones. I'm going to come in with a little bit of orange maybe. Maybe we'll put some of that on here. Remember that we can play with blending our colors as we go along, right? And we'll get some red. So here's our midtones. Now I'm going to add a little water to that. Just kind of work that out. I feel like I'm kind of having to concentrate more. Cezanne did take his time, certainly, when he was painting. And now I need to deepen this. So I'm going to add just a little bit of black. But do you see how that little bit of black goes a long way? So I'm going to clean my brush, come in and get a lot more red and add to that. And then mix that up. And so I just have a little bit deeper red for my shadow. And remember, once your color is down, you can always continue to work it, right? You can add color to get more depth or more light. As you go along. So I feel like that needs a little bit more black. There we go. A little deeper, I feel like. And clean my brush again. And then just come in with my damp brush to blend that out. Because I want it to, I know he had distinct lines. Not me so much. I like it to really blend out. All right, and now, remember, now I have my reflected light. So I'm going to go back to my, I'm gonna get some orange and some red and a little bit of yellow. I feel like that. Because reflected light is going to be dulled down a little bit, right? It's not going to be as bright as the highlight. But you're going to see the difference. You're going to see the reflected light. I don't know a better way to say it. And now I'm going to play with my gray to create my, just making a palette down here, to create my cast shadow. But I want to add a little bit of red to this because some of that red is going to certainly come into play in this cast shadow. And remember, this too, we can play with the, once our color is down, then we can continue to build on that, you know? Right now we just have the basic idea. So I'm gonna just start talking while my paint dries and see what do you guys have going on? Because I see I need to do a better blend right here. I think this is good up here, but down here I feel like I need to blend a little bit. But I'm gonna let it dry instead of trying to work it and then, you know, getting my paper all fuzzy. Let's see. So here's some interesting facts about Cezanne. He was friends and a schoolmate to Emile Zola, the writer, which is kind of, and had a huge friend, like a lasting friendship through the childhood, through adulthood. until Emil wrote, I don't know if it was an article or a book, I think it was a book. And in there he talked about failed artists, and Cezanne, because he was steeped in insecurity, assumed it was about him, and then that was that. He wasn't friends with him anymore. Which I thought was kind of interesting. Let's see. So, like I said, we're using a model of an apple today because Cezanne studied his subjects extensively and devoted a lot of time toward this purpose. He really studied his subjects. So we're going to really study our apple. We're going to really study how the light is reflected on the apple, how the color changes as the light hits it in different places. So just think about that a little bit. I'm going to try a little bit smaller brush now because I feel like I want to deepen in here, right? Because that's going to be kind of a little dip behind this bump. It's going to be dark, right? Is anybody painting their apple? Hi, Anne, how are you? I was just thinking about you the other day as I saw a bunch of people playing pickleball at the park near my house. I hope all is well in your world. Remember, clean that brush and then come back. Then you can just do that slow build of color and light and shadow. Oh, I'm really liking it. Let's see. A little bit. Looks like I need to change my water. It's starting to get a little bit muddy. Oh, but sometimes I just can't stop myself. You know what I mean? So I just am really working on the gradation of color, going from one area to the next, creating the depth of my apple. I wonder, take a little bit of this black, kind of water it down, and I can start to build here, right? Just a little bit of the work on building out that cast shadow and kind of a almost an outline of my apple. We'll fix that in, what do they call it in movies? In post. I don't know. I'm just talking to myself. Jeff's not even here today. It's just me and these puppies. He is off looking at a engine or pulling an engine out of a car or something. I don't know. We both have our things that keep us sane throughout the COVID, you know. Oh, that's looking a little bit better, I think. Like the blend is better. Maybe I'll even add a little bit of that here. There we go. That seems to be helping. But it's almost like when you look at your apple, so it's going to be deeper in here, right? But then there's also these little light areas, which is kind of interesting. So it's not like a, oh, that looks so much better. So much better. But I feel like I want a little bit dark down here. Like I'm barely putting any of this watery black down here just because I want to, remember we've talked about so many times, it's so much easier to add color than to try and take it away, especially on a substrate like this art journal. This art journal is not forgiving when it comes to watercolors. Remember we talked about you can use whatever supplies you have. You just have to learn their capabilities. So I know that this substrate, I don't have much wiggle room when it comes to working out my edge of one color to the next. I need to move kind of fast because once it's dry, there's really no moving it. So then I have to work with adding colors, adding and working with adding dimension in a different kind of way. You know what I mean? So now I'm painting with that deeper red over top of that black, and I'm kind of digging that. Yep. That's what I was going for. Hey, Carrie. We are studying Paul Cezanne today, and we are, since he was famous for painting apples, we are painting an apple today, and we are working in values of a color. And so really keep that in mind as you're painting, that you want to paint with the full range of light to dark. Of a color. Do you know what I'm saying? You want to really work on painting. I need to let it dry again. I need to talk to you about something else because I know myself. I'll just work it too much if I don't. You know. So just really work on using your full range of the colors from the lightest to the darkest, like I've said repeatedly, because your artwork is going to be so much more interesting. It'll have so much more depth and form. You know what I'm saying? The form is where it's at. And I think that's something that we've been kind of working up to all of this time, where we've worked with shading and we've worked with highlights and lowlights and creating dimension with color. We've been working on that through all of these projects. So I feel like this is kind of a culmination. We have one more artist before the end of the year. Next Saturday, remember that Bible journaling is from 9 until 11. You sign up for that on my website. And then at noon, we'll do our last artist of the year. And like I said, I'm gonna change things up a little bit in 2021, but I'm not going away, and our art will continue, that's for sure. Oh, I'm getting a little bit, I think I'm getting a little bit bleedy there. Let's see. Take a little moment to erase some of the extra lines. While I wait for everything to dry. So, is anybody painting an apple with me? Did you choose a different piece of fruit? Did you, do you need to see the chart of light source and reflective light, etc., etc.? Do you need to see that some more? Let's see, what did I do with it? I think it's, oh, right here. So remember that we're going to have our highlight, our light, midtone, shadow, reflected light, and cast shadow. And this could reverse if certainly if your light source is coming from the left, then you could reverse it. If it's coming from the right, you could do it this way. You just want to make sure that you're aware of your light source. Be aware of where light is shining on your object that you're painting. In any case, you know, these are all exercises to grow our artsy arsenal in our noggin. Oh, I was going to tell you some of his paintings. The Card Players, that's a very famous one. And I think that might have been the one that sold for the most money. Still Life with Apples, A Basket of Apples, Boy in a Red Waistcoat. He did do quite a lot of portraiture, but they were kind of unusual, and you'll see that when you I'm sure everyone will Google him. The Hanged Man's House is another one. Here's another quote. An art which isn't based on feeling isn't an art at all. Interesting, right? Let's see. Let's see. So I told you that he was a pioneer, like a significant pioneer of the 20th century abstract painting. And his spatial explorations paved the way for Cubist and Fauvism. So the way that he dealt with space and shape and form, Like, he was very intrigued by spheres and cylinders and cones. Like, that was intensely interesting to him. And like I said, he how did he use that basic shape? How did he use that to enhance his still lifes? So really, that's something to really think about as you're drawing and painting. Is anyone talking to me today? Honest to Pete. Somebody say hello or something. Where are we on time? Oh, goodness. We only have 14 minutes left. Well, I hope that everybody has at least drawn your apple and started to paint. Remember that you're going to use that full range of values of a color. You're going to, it's okay to take rest periods in between and let the dust settle, so to speak, and then kind of ponder how you're going to do, what you're going to do next, and how you're going to handle it. And, you know, we shouldn't be in a rush. We shouldn't be in a rush to do any of these paintings. I'm quite pleased with my apple so far. I said I was going to change this filthy water and I didn't. So I'm going to change my water, and then somebody better say something to me. Honest to Pete. It's a lovely day in Peoria, Arizona today. It is sunny and I would probably say low 70s. So it's a perfect day. We had some rainy days this week, but now blue skies and lovely sun is shining. So my goal is to try and finish all of the paintings that we've worked on through this period of time. I do have my hokusai. I have my blues on it, and a little bit of the browns. I haven't played. I can show you. There we go. Can you see that? I've played quite a bit with that. That's super fun. I can't wait to play with a little bit more, to do my lettering, and then to do my inking, and then my white gel pen for all of that beautiful okay, Keels. How do I refresh my comments? Because nothing's on here. The last thing, honestly, how do I do that? Honest to Pete. You know what is so interesting? I had a friend who said this happened to them the other day too. Two friends. One, a store owner, said that they couldn't see any of their comments. Maybe I can see them on the little iPad. And then another person said that they couldn't see them in their online class. I don't know, maybe Facebook is maybe it's just tired because of overuse, since we're all using so much bandwidth these days. How else are we going to communicate with one another if not with technology, you know? Crazy. Let's see. Okay. Oh my gosh, you guys have been blabbing the whole time. A velvet. Odd velvet. Oh no. Yum. Lori, I just read that you made apple crisp yesterday. Delicious. No, but Rennie, I will totally be looking for that book. Keely, I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't see any of these comments. I lighten with water. I only lighten with water because if you add white, you're going to get you're going to change the tone. And I want to stick with my same tone. So I only lighten with water. If you, look at your color wheel. Where's my color wheel? It's right here in this pile somewhere. If you look at your color wheel, if you, let's see, where am I going with this? Sorry. If you add white, you create a tint. And I don't want to create tints. I want to create, stay in the same tonal family. Does that make sense? Let's see. Hey, Lori Hulls, how are you? Is it Hulls? I couldn't see these comments. I'm so sorry, you guys. Ugh. But Rennie, I totally want to read Odd Velvet. And what a fun challenge that would be, right? To draw an apple with just 8 colors. That would be fascinating. So now, that's so interesting, isn't it? I just love the simplicity of just painting one apple and really thinking about your, like I said, the swing of values of colors, from lightest to darkest, and how the placement creates the beautiful form of a beautiful apple. I think that that is... No, exactly, Keels. It would be a pink apple, and that's not what we're going for. We want to stay within the same tone throughout the entire piece. Does that make sense? Like, I hardly ever add white to anything. I almost always lighten with water and then work on sometimes you can highlight with yellow. You can highlight with, well, you can certainly highlight with your gel pens. I hope that that makes sense to everybody and that everybody's having fun painting their apples. Well, you know what? I was a preschool teacher for over 20 years. Oh, no, probably close to 30 years because I taught kindergarten, then I taught preschool, then I had a daycare in my home, which I ran like a preschool for 20 years. So probably close to 30 years. And I will just tell you, I never heard of Odd Velvet, but now I will certainly seek it out. That's for sure. That's for sure. I hope that everybody is having a great time creating their apple and will continue to. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I look forward to 2021 with you all. We're going to have ourselves a beautiful artsy time. I am working on changing some things on my website, adding some things on my website. fiddling around with different kinds of emails. I'm sure you've noticed that. Like I said, I'm just working at, you know, getting bigger and better and improving all the time. I am so grateful that you make time to be with me every week. It just means the world to me. I look forward to it. I can't wait to share whatever artsy information I have for the week. I have. And so I will bid you adieu. I say thank you. Thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And please be sure to go and like Pineapple Triangle and then watch in an hour. I have no idea what they're going to do, but it'll be amazing, I'm sure. I will see you all on Tuesday when we make some more amazing cards. And I'll probably see you in a couple minutes over at Pineapple Triangle. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.